All right, in this section, we're going to be working with arithmetic series. The only difference between this and arithmetic sequence is now we're going to be looking for the sum of a sequence. Okay, here are the two formulas that we're going to be using. You know this one from our arithmetic sequence, and here's our new one. This is how you get the sum. So this is a sum of how many of our numbers? Number of terms divided by 2, first term and last term. That's all you need. Let's get into some examples. Okay, here's our first problem. So we're going to try to find the sum of adding all of these numbers in this sequence. So notice here our pattern. This is going up by 8 plus 8 here, and it's going to go plus 8 forever until we hit 65, right? So the things we need to know the number of terms. We don't have that yet. We need to know the first term. We have that, and we need to know the last term. We have that one. So we need to figure out the number of terms. So guess which formula we're going to use? We're going to use this one. So I'm going to go the last term here, 65 equals our first term plus, I'm going to leave this as n minus 1. We're going to try to solve for that. And we know the difference here is 8. Okay, so now we got a multi-step equation that we can solve. I'm going to pause and fast forward here. All right, so multi-step equation, I distribute the 8. Right? And then we're just going to solve it down. We have n equals 7, so we have 7 terms here. Okay, now we have everything we need. We have our n here, 7. We have our a1, and we have our last term here. So let's just plug it in. So we got 7 over 2, 17 plus 65. 7 over 2. 17 plus 65 is 6782. Now I'm going to use my calculator. 82 times 7 divided by 2 equals 287. And there's your final answer. So the key here is we're going to use the old formula to find n. And then we can plug in n, our first and our last term, to solve for our sum. Okay, in the third section of your homework, you're going to have these type of problems. So this looks new. This just means you're going to take the sum. This is called sigma, or sometimes they say summation notation. So this is how you read this. You're just going to plug in these into your n values. So we have 3 times 3 plus 2. That's going to give me 9 plus 2 is 11. So our first term is 11. For our second term, so we're going to go from 3 to 6. So our second term, we're going to use 4. So we got 4, 3 times 4 plus 2 is going to be 12, 13, 14. There's your second term. Your next term is going to be 5 now. So we got 3 times 5 plus 2. This is 15 plus 2, which is 17. So that's our third term. So we got 3 plugged in, 4 plugged in, 5 plugged in. This tells us our last one plugged in, we're going to go 6. So we're going from 3 all the way to 6. So we're going to plug in 6. We got 18 plus 2, 20. So here are our our 4 terms here. And one thing to notice here is you can do this by writing it out, but if this is a big number, you don't want to use that. You want to use the formula. So I'll show you both ways. So we can add these all up to get the sum. But here's one thing you want to take notice of. Normally, if I say how many terms are going to be from 3 to 6, most people will subtract these and think that there's 3 terms. But notice here, it's not 3 terms. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms here. So this is, even though you subtract here, if you subtract, you're starting from 4, 5, then 6. So remember, we also have to include the 3. So since we're including the 3, this is going to give you a 4th term. Okay, so you subtract, but you have to add 1 because you're including this number. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and we're going to do this the long way in the next video. The easy way in the next video, in case this number is big here.